Hey guys, Pete the Great, back at it today for Kingdom Theory. And today's theory, I mentioned it in my chapter 506 review. I'm going to talk about what I think is missing from the Ouhon, the Gyoku-O, and the Gakuka and the Hishin unit to be recognized as legit top armies in China, basically. Well, for starters in Kin and then, all of China. So yeah, first of all, I'll be talking about what they already have in terms of manpower, and then I'll explain why it's not enough, and then I'll give my thoughts as to what I think is actually gonna happen. So yeah, without any further ado, let's dive right in. Let's start with the Gakuka unit. Its leader is Moten. I'm starting with this unit because it's the one that, we've seen very few characters being named in that unit. And they are a 5,000 men unit. So it's rather peculiar. So we have Moten. And other than that, we have some guy called Gaku Grams, the one that's always like, he sees Moten and he's always like, oh my god, he's finally being serious. And, he's always so emotive. Uh, so that's probably the only other uh, character in character in the Gakuka unit. Well, there's another guy called Riku-san who's a squad captain, and also Komoku who's a cavalry. But I don't really think those two are gonna be important. Even the Gaku Gramps probably is not gonna end up being that important. So, well, with that being said, besides praising Moulton's strategic abilities and his we've under hyped fighting capacities because we haven't really seen him like he's no Shin, in terms of like I'm gonna just tank and go all out, but he's really strategic. But we know he can still fight though. So other than that, there's pretty much no one in this unit that makes it noteworthy, which just goes to say how much Moten's strategies are important to this unit's success. Then in the Gyokuho, uh, although not a lot of characters are named, we at least know that most of them are from noble families, because I mean that's why they laughed at the peasant Haitian unit when we were first introduced to them, because they were all from like this those noble families. So they all had like shiny armor and stuff like that. So we know that they're richer basically. So the whole army is trained, and that's what makes it success, because it's a really like trained elite. Like they've had all the members of that unit have probably had training from their very young age, so that's why it's a good unit. On top of that, you had Ouhon's ability with the spear, and how he's been training basically as much as Shin. He's been training his spear technique. So yeah, we have the Ouhon unit. Um, other than Ouhon, there is named characters. There's Banyo, who's the vice captain. He's the old guy that said tension, and all the Haitian unit just went like and you know. Other than that, there's Kanjo, who's like this new guy that Osen put. Sorry, that Osen put as a member of Ohon's squad, just not to keep an eye on him, but to bolster his strength. So we have Kanjo, we have Banyo. Other than that, they're like same as with the Gakuka unit. They're just named characters. So they're named characters, but they're not really important. So yeah, both those units have really not a lot of people like worth mentioning. Now let's get to, well, the main squad that we've been following for 506 chapters, the Hishin unit. Its leader is Shin, is obviously one of the strongest characters, but they also have Kyokai, which is a lieutenant, and we know that she's crazy strong as she's the Shiyu basically. And as a strategist, we have uh, Karyoten, and they've also been every time they make friends with a unit, and that unit gets disbanded or destroyed, or their commander gets killed. Uh, they always seem to get like a lot of good people from those units, like Sosubi, who's a cavalry unit that was from the I don't remember his name, but he was one of the I think it was a Kakubi unit, and it was basically a 1,000 man commander that got killed. You know, so by Rinko, I think, yeah, by Rinko, and like he got a cavalry boost that he was not expecting. The Dukyo unit. There's all the Hihyo soldiers. Basically, they used to be on the Dukyo's command, and well, now they're under Shin's command, which is also a quick boost. And I think there's another one, but I can't remember. But it's not really important in this video. So you have those characters. You have Karyoten, you have Kyokai, you have N also that I forgot to mention, and oh yeah, the other one that I forgot to mention was the guy that defected from Kanki's unit. I think his name was Naki. So every single big fight they've been in, apparently there's someone that just says, you know what, I'm gonna join the Hishin unit, because they're great. So basically, we know that the Hishin unit's gonna have a lot of strong soldiers from that made their name under another uh, unit. So that's what makes their strength, basically. Like the cohesiveness, because they're basically all peasants besides the Hyo and Kanki. I'm not sure, but I know that probably Susubi wasn't just a peasant, but they're all peasants besides that. So there's like that camaraderie, and on top of that, Shin's a monster, Kyokai is a monster, so that's why they're pretty strong. So all in all, these three units are pretty strong, pretty even, I would say. Maybe for now, I think I'd give the edge to either the Gyokuho or the Hishin unit, just because, well, one, we've seen a lot more of. I'm talking about the Haitian unit, and the other one, it's just been stated from the get go that they're all elite soldiers. So I don't know which one's the strongest, but I think the Gakuka has most work to be done. It's pretty easy to see that to be one of the big armies, you don't just need one top dude. I mean, in Oki's army, there was about 6 people that could lead like an army by themselves that were under Oki. Um, Rempa had not pillars, but he had 4 guys that he was relying heavily upon. Um, in most armies, that's actually the case. I mean, you see, Oki dies, but To is still one of the great generals because he is actually a great general. Ryofui, you may say, it wasn't his army, he was just there, but like he had Shohei-kun, he had Mobu, like both of them could fight, and every top dog has had a lot of subordinates that in of themselves were actually very great. So when you see that the Shin, and the only one that's like as great as Shin or even greater is Kyokai, or in Ouhon. In Ouhon's case, he's probably the only one that's like leaps and like that's really ahead of the rest. And then in Mouten's case, there's just no one, and it's all strategy. But um, I mean, depends, what kind of army you want to be. I mean, if Moten is gonna be a general that's gonna lead strategically, out of the three, he's probably the one that I could see the author not actually giving him a lot of manpower, because he's a good strategist. So basically it's not enough because in every other case we've seen they always have huge, like they have these big guys but under them they have huge help, you know, because yeah, he's a guy, but like on the field, you know, it's an army against an army. That one guy, yeah, he's gonna change it, but I mean, he's gonna be at one spot, and then the other spots are gonna get attacked too. So you know, like you need more than just one guy, and that's why I think it's not enough. So, with all this being said, it's pretty safe to say that those three units, kind of need something to happen for them to get stronger, you know, and be able to be recognized as not only armies but like big dog armies, you know. So, for the Gyokuho unit, what I think is gonna happen, I think personally that you know since um they always get the rich kids that like are from good families and stuff. I personally just think that that's what's gonna happen. They're probably gonna get some freakish Ouhon Part 2, and you know, uh, that guy or like someone that's supposed to serve, that's been serving Ouhon and watching him study his spear technique and just became a fanatic, kind of like Kyo, you know, and you know it's Ouhon and Oki are actually family, so you know it would be like a nice parallel. So I think something like that's probably gonna happen, and that's how the Gyokuho unit is actually gonna get like a second in command. Maybe not. I don't think it'll repeat itself like a second, a third, and but like at least like some guy that's just gonna be there till the end. You know, like maybe Banjo dies. Not Banjo. I can't remember. No, it's Banyo. I think yeah, Kanjo and Banyo. Sorry. So maybe Banyo dies, and you know, because he's the vice commander now, so you need him to die for someone to be able to take his spot. You know, so because I don't think they'll just demote him. That would just be just savage. But you know, so I think someone's gonna die, and someone's gonna rise, and they're just not gonna have a vice commander for a while, and that guy's gonna rise and eventually end up being the vice commander for the remainder of the series. Yeah, so that's how I think the Gyokuho unit's gonna get stronger. As to the Gakuka unit, I personally think that they just need one guy because they got the strategist. You know, like basically it's like they're missing the Shin to their Karyoten. I mean, Moten is, you know, if he's gonna be the strategist general, he's gonna need some heavy firepower in case he gets confronted to some generals that are just that are strategic but that also have the firepower. So he's gonna need to just maybe one or two people that are gonna like just be able to tank because you see, I'm not saying that Moten can't do it, but you know, when you're the strategist, you can't just go there and like go and then say like, okay, I got the strategy. Because like, unless you're Riboku, who can basically see the whole flow of battle from ground level, you kind of need to be higher. You kind of need to be a back. So maybe Moten will develop into a Riboku. Who knows? But even in that case, he needs some people that are strong too or some crazy strategies like Dorindo or some stuff like that. So either he develops Roboku level sight, or he gets one or two characters to bolster his ranks, and I think that's gonna come from his dad, basically. Because you know his dad's gonna keep rising in the ranks, which means more people are gonna be attracted to the Mobu army, and through that, maybe you know the people that didn't get into the Mobu army will just be sent to the Gakuka unit or the Gakuka army by that point, and you know maybe amongst them there'll be someone that his dad will regret not getting into his army. So that's how I think the Gakuka unit is probably gonna get its power ups. As for the Hishin unit, we've seen them like basically reformed their ranks with like new trainees and stuff and all the peasants that were like, oh my god, it's a unit full of peasants. I mean, let's go there. So I think that it's just gonna continue in that trend. And we've already seen two guys that potentially could become something big, and we've even seen how they could become something big. Because I mean, personally, I thought archers in this series were kind of like lacking. Like, yo, ooh, 10 bows of China, but I wasn't really intimidated. I didn't know what they do. I mean, yeah, you shoot arrows, whatever. And then when we get introduced to what I like to call Kingdom Splash Brothers, the two brothers who are basically as good as any of the 10 bows. And we get introduced to their dad, who was once part of Dukyo's unit, and Dukyo made a mounted archers unit, and he was the leader. So we get to see what could happen. Maybe is it foreshadowing? Maybe they'll just follow in their dad's footsteps. So we get to see what could happen, and if you get a mounted archers unit, and in this case maybe two, because there's two of the brothers. So you could really bolster your strength with those two units that might exist in the future. And if you get two 10 bows, or like one 10 bow and one barely 10 bow, that's a lot of firepower that you just got. And then you already have Kyokai, and I don't think N is gonna be a strong guy, but I still think he's gonna be a capable guy. He'll probably just realize that he needs to do something, because he's been with Shin since Shin has been a 100-man commander. You know, he's been with Shin ever since, and yeah, I think he's probably gonna be there at the end. And if he's there at the end, I think he needs to gain some kind of power up, and his power up might come from his mind. Strategy wise, strategically is what I meant. Strategy wise, So I think he's probably either gonna go and learn from Karyoten and get more involved in that aspect, or maybe he'll just start dueling and get really stronger. But I think that's a bit of a stretch. So most definitely, I think that N's gonna be someone that's gonna be there at the end. Will he be a strong character? Maybe not. Maybe the Hishin unit will have commanders that are weaker than its soldiers. Because amongst the new recruits, there's probably people that are already stronger than Bihei and all that. And yeah, I think personally that the Hishin unit is actually gonna get really, really better, like really fast. I think they probably might be the surprise, because everyone's now assuming that like Ouhon and stuff are not gonna are gonna be the great generals, because there's like two spots left and whatever. But I personally think that after this arc, we'll get to realize that, oh my god, maybe the Hishin unit is actually maybe able to be take that spot from the Gakuka unit or the Gyokuho unit. Because remember, Shin would have been a general now, but he fucked up and he went after Kanki. Same thing could be said about Ouhon though, because he would have been a general because he beat Earl Shi, but To insisted that he has to go through the 5,000 man commanders position before being a general. So they got the same promotion, but uh, we haven't seen anything from Moten to suggest that maybe yeah, he's a 5,000 man commander, but personally I haven't seen anything from him ever since the coalition arc. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think is gonna happen in those three units. Leave a comment if you disagree or agree. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Ciao.